Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, got my line mate Matt with me, and today we're going to go over the Islanders force of Game 7. Vegas and Habs are fighting it out right now. They're tied 2-2 with 9:29 left in the third period. Pat Foley is going to be retiring after 39 years of covering the Blackhawks games. Zadorov wants $5 million. Lou Lamoriello wins the Jim Gregory Manager of the Year award, and Dave Haxtell is the Kraken's first head coach in their short history. But before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to the New York Rangers 30 on Broadway Talking Blue Shirts, a podcast on the FHN net. Blue Shirts and Pittsburgh Penguins pair at the point, and the Airport Lounge, which covers the Winnipeg Jets podcast. We are all part of the FHN net, the Face Off Hockey Network, and go and check them out. TheFHN.net. Get all of your hockey news there. It's getting better and better day by day, and we're going to get into it right here. Matt, what do you think of that thriller of an Islanders game yesterday? To be honest with you, man, I thought that it was, they're down 2-0. I'm like, is it going to be 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, kind of like the last affair? And they came back and stormed back. What did you think?
I think if you take the leash off Matt Barzal, he's going to be a freaking monster. And I thought the third period, he was awesome. And I think there was one shift. It might have been the start of the period, the third. I think he had the puck for like a minute. I'm not even joking. He was skating back and forth, stops and starts, and making plays happen. I know he didn't score, but I think he set the tone of the third period, how the Islanders were going to play. And they fed off it. They tied it, and the OT goal was awesome. It's just a terrible play. I think it was, I forget. It might have been Coleman on Tampa who put the puck up the middle, which was insane. Like you hit the glass, always ice the puck, and the Islanders. Who was it?
Bellevue or something like that.
He buried it. It was a great shot.
Oh, man,
great celebration. He said he blacked out after, and then I look up and it's raining beer cans and all kinds of stuff, which is I don't get that one, but I mean, hey, they were pumped, the Islanders fans. I'm happy for them. They look like they're having a great time in there.
Yeah, and that was supposedly last game at their old barn, huh?
Well, it could be. If they beat Tampa tomorrow, they're going to be back there.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm pulling for the Islanders. So,
jeez, you never know, man. You got Kucherov could be hurt. He's a difference maker for that team.
Yeah, he is.
They looked a little lost without him. But Braden Point, man, he's on a nine game point streak or goal streak. I think he's in company with Lemieux and Gretzky. I'm not sure who the other player is, but that's pretty good company to be in.
I'll tell you what, man, that was a really impressive backhand goal that he had when he kicked it up and went to the backhand.
It's so amazing that Tampa could find these players. Like, I mean, they're going to let a good player go next year, and they got Braden Point to step in. They lose Kucherov to an injury. Another guy will step in. It's insane. Like, it's just like the next man up. Guy's always ready to replace them, and they're just a great team, man.
Right. So we got Vegas and the Habs fighting it out right now, man. Could you ask any more between these two teams? Really, they're really putting it out there.
Yeah, man. Who's in net tonight for Vegas?
Oh, you know what? Let me check.
I mean, I honestly, I'm not as interested in this series as I am the Islanders and Tampa, but
yeah.
The big story over there is it Leonard or Fleury? And you know who you're getting in Montreal. It's Carey Price.
Leonard's in.
Wow. So there's still a shot. I mean, it could go 7. I think it would be great for the NHL if it went 7.
It's
great.
I'll
great
tell you
hockey.
What, man. I can't, Fleury's gotten them this far, but do you think that it's just, there's like no confidence there?
I think it's overcoaching. I think this guy is trying to he wants his guy in, and I know they signed Leonard 5 years when they had Fleury, who I think he's got. Is this his last year on his contract?
I believe so.
It's like, why would you? And the guy's amazing. He's a Hall of Famer. He's playoff wins. He's like top 5, maybe top 3 now. And I just don't get it. I mean, goalies are going to have bad games. Taking him out the next game is just insane. But hey, Leonard, he stepped up last game, and it looks like he's pretty solid tonight too. It's 2-2.
2-2
in an elimination game.
It's one of those things, where obviously you're going to put, more of an emphasis on Vegas's, their offense, but Montreal has, they've really been stepping it up, man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I was expecting more out of the Golden Knights, and both of these teams are tied 29, 28 shots apiece.
I thought for sure that Vegas would be just destroying these guys just because they got through Colorado, and Colorado's a powerhouse team.
Right.
And they found a way to win. And now it's like the total opposite. They're more like kind of like the Islanders. They'll wait till you make a mistake and capitalize. They got the 2 young guys that are just ripping it up for Montreal. The Caulfield and Suzuki, is it? They are just on fire. And I mean, I know they traded Max Pax for Suzuki, and man, they might be regretting that one, Vegas.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Suzuki's been playing great the entire tournament, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's been quietly very good. I mean, he's not getting any publicity as much as say Braden Point and the goaltenders, the revolving door in the of Vegas. We don't know what goalie's going in, and this guy's just quietly getting goals and winning, just coming up big. Right.
So we've also got some Blackhawks news. We'll get into that in a second. But Lou Lamoriello wins the GM award for the second year in a row. The guy just knows how to put a team together. And he does a really good job doing it. What do you think it is do you think it's just experience? Do you think that he just has this, this sixth sense for putting players on the team? What is it that makes him so successful?
You know what? I think he just sticks to what works for him. He's been lucky in New Jersey. He's had Marty Brodeur pretty much for 20 years. Having a Hall of Fame Stanley Cup winning goalie will help.
One of the best goaltenders of all time.
That'll help. You've had, I know he still has to put the guys together. He had Patrick Elias. He's had, Scott Stevens, Danico, all kinds of great players with New Jersey. And then I think he went to the Leafs for a couple of years. I credit him a lot too with building that team. I mean, I'm not sure if he might have drafted Austin Matthews.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and then he went to the Islanders, and the first thing he did was get Barry Trotz, a Stanley Cup winning coach, and kind of similar to his style of play. I think they're, more conservative, being defensive, and they're not spending a lot of money on players, but I think that he makes good decisions. He's got a solid, a playoff team. It kind of reminds me of Nashville, these guys, but I think these guys, they actually win playoff series. Nashville, they choke a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that he's got 2 solid goalies. He's got a really solid defense. And you know what? He picked up Travis Zajac and Kyle Palmieri at the deadline, and people were like, that's not that great. But those guys have been really good for this team.
They've been really.
It's he did his homework.
Zajac's been a good player.
Palmieri, I think he might end up staying. I think he's got some good chemistry. And then you got Matt Barzal. I think if Barzal was on the Blackhawks, he'd probably have 120 points a year playing with Patrick Kane. But he's just on a team that's, they have a system and they're sticking with it.
Yeah.
It's working.
Man, he's good, man. Just watching him play yesterday, he had...
You know what? And I didn't watch him that much, but I watched that. I'm like, dang, dude, he got 2 assists that period, and he was just awesome.
He had the puck on a string.
And Tavares was right. He's like, you guys are in good hands with Barzal. Don't worry. And I'm sure the freaking Islanders fans are happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose Tavares, but this he's the real deal.
Right. So moving on to some Hawks news. Pat Foley, longtime announcer, play-by-play announcer for the Blackhawks, is retiring after 39 years. And I grew up listening to this guy. First Hawks game I saw on TV was with Pat Foley calling it. He's always called the games for me, and he's going to be sorely missed, man. I really, really just love listening to him, man. You know, I just thought that he was great. Yeah, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I've always been a fan favorite of his. And what do you think, man?
Same with me. I've never known anybody else except 1 year he left, and it was like that Dan Kelly guy or whatever. He was terrible. Yeah, towards the end, I thought Foley, I don't know. I know we joke about it, but I just think like he was there to hang out with Eddie Olczyk. I feel like those two were just hanging out and joking around a lot. And it's like, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, like then sometimes it's like, come on, man, I want to call the game.
Go get an ice cream, partner.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Tree left in that third.
But like when you listen to his goal calls from like the 90s, you got like over to Amani and Ronek Coxwin. Yeah. Like that was awesome, you know, and then Taves with the game on a stick, you know, and it was awesome. And like, he was great. And I actually had a game, I think it was Sega. It was NHL Open Ice. And Foley was the play-by-play guy. And he was awesome in that too. Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It was awesome. It was like 3-on-3 open ice. It was good. It was at the there was like an arcade with the rink I played at, and I used to play it all the time. And that's like my memory of Pat Foley. But I've always liked him with Dale Talon too.
Yeah,
him and Dale Talon were great together.
Yeah,
I'm
they
a
were.
Huge Dale Talon fan. But yeah, you want to talk why he is retiring? Because I think that he does not want to retire. I think he's being forced to retire.
Why?
Just my opinion. Because he's not a yes man. I think he called out a lot of BS at the last game. Yeah, let's face it, the Hawks defense, they weren't that good this year.
They weren't.
And he made, it kind of, people were like, how can you say that about your team? But he was just telling the truth. That was a God-honest truth.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? No. If the management doesn't like that, then why don't they put a better product out onto the ice? That's what I have to say about it.
And I think his whole little figure of speech being, if I had to go through what the players did this year, I'd put a bullet in my brain. Yeah. It's a figure of speech.
It is.
He's not telling you to do that. He's not, people really need to calm down. It's so stupid. But he was right. Like, can you picture yourself being away from your kids for like, let's say you go to Vegas and you had to play them
2 games
for a playoff series. What if you won the playoff series? You're there another 2 weeks. Then you're there for another week. And you know what I mean? It's just
sitting in the hotel room
by yourself.
Yeah,
and you can't even socialize. So it's crazy. That's like being in prison.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, they're getting paid millions. Yeah, they're getting paid millions, but they're almost prisoners.
Yeah.
So I think that might have been something to do with his early retirement. But, you know what? I don't know. Who do you think is going to replace him? Is it going to be Weideman and Troy Murray? Because I'd definitely be okay with that. I like John Weideman a lot. I think he's great.
I think that would be the easiest transition. Because to be honest with you, dude, I think they knock it out of the park, man. I think they knock it out of the park, and I think that it makes sense to bring him up.
Yeah, I'm a huge John Weideman fan. He actually came from the Islanders, that was his first job.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then we got him. I think we got him around 08, maybe 07. I forget. But I really enjoyed him on the radio. But there was a time Foley was on the radio and TV. And, I for some reason, I always like listening on the radio. I don't know, maybe it's the old 90s, old school way.
Not being able to watch the games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we didn't have a home TV, we couldn't watch them because Wirtz was too cheap, but
yeah.
But, yeah, man, I think that'd be a great replacement for him. So do you think Eddie's gone? He's probably, the TNT or whatever TBS guy.
I don't know.
Whatever, Turner Classic, whatever. which I'm okay with. Olczyk, he's cool, but it's stuff gets old. Like even his stuff last night, he's like, "Why are the Islanders fans throwing all the beer at every?" We're like, dude, we know. He kept going on and on and on about it. We're like, all right, dude, let's move on. They just won a huge game. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that he would leave. I think that they would need somebody to replace Foley. But unless he's looking to leave, but there's been no mention of that.
Might be hard on him. Yeah, it might be tough on him. I think they're gonna want him to like be more of a league guy, not just an individual team. Like he's gonna be on a panel with Gretzky, right?
I believe so. I thought that he was just doing what he's doing for the Hawks. What is that? Just analysis for TNT.
I heard
I don't know. I didn't think he was going to be on a show.
I heard he's going to be on like an NBA like panel.
Oh,
that's what I heard, and I heard Gretzky was with him. Somebody else is with him too. I forget who it was, but I mean it's going to be cool. And Messier just went to ESPN today.
Okay,
he's going to be a hockey guy, which take it or leave it. It doesn't bother me. I know maybe the New Yorkers will like it, but nothing special.
Or the
to
Oilers.
Me. Yeah, the Oilers from all those 80s Oilers fans, if they're still around.
Yeah, maybe a few Canucks too.
Oh yeah, I forgot he played there.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
So moving on, Zadorov wants $5 million a year, man.
So do I, Mike.
I do too.
Yeah,
I'll take $5 million a year.
I'll hit whatever you want me to hit for $5 million a year, and occasionally get an assist.
If they're handing out cash like that for $5 million, I'll do it.
If the Hawks sign him $5 million, just get ready for another long season.
I'd be pretty
upset.
That's
all I have to say. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't see the value there, especially if you have an opportunity. Say, Saad wants to come back for $5 million. Saad's worth way more than Zadorov is, I believe.
Yeah, I could see Saad getting, another 6 year or a $6 million, whatever
contract.
2 year. Yeah, he's worth it. He'll get you 20.
Yeah.
20 goal scorer.
Especially playing with some of these kids, maybe that's what he needs.
The guy loves it here.
Yeah.
I think he'd come back. You never know though. Maybe somebody else will overpay him and I'm going to go. I got my cups. I'm going to go make some money.
Sure.
Just have fun playing hockey now. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where either you make your money or you're playing for cups, Yeah,
that's why these guys are so lucky, like they win these like guys that came here like Letty.
Yeah.
He had 2 cups too, right?
Right.
And he goes to the Islanders. He's getting $7 million for 7 years. That's insane. That's awesome though. And he might win. And he got another shot. I wouldn't have paid him $7 million. I'd pay him 5.5. Yeah, I think that the Islanders were desperate. I mean, they needed a Stanley Cup young defenseman who can move the puck. And you know what? They wanted him to be the man there. And he seems pretty solid to me still. I think they got that Ryan Pulak guy who made that really big save. He's like a really good defenseman. They're saying like any other, like somebody said an example on NHL Net, like if he played for like a Red Wings or Blackhawks team, this guy would be like a top like defensive pair in the running for a Norris Trophy. But he's on an Islanders team that, their defense is so like their system, they're not going to get that many points and stuff, but they're going to get block shots and, prevent a lot of goals. And I'm like, man, I hate hearing that because we need guys like that.
Yeah. Golden Knights and Canadiens update just went into finished the third period, going into OT tied 2-2.
Oh, man.
Golden Knights 38 shots on goal and Habs 31. Hits are close. Golden Knights 31.
Who do you think is going to score the goal? One player from each team.
Imagine if Barzal does it. Barzal. I don't know, man. Maybe Mayfield comes out and does another stunner top shelf. I don't know, man.
I got
Weber from the point.
Max Pack for the Knights.
Okay.
And then I got Suzuki, his trading counterpart, scoring the game winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Assisted by Carey Price.
I'd say maybe Riley Smith for the for the Vegas, and I'll go with
or Mark Stone. He's a stud.
Yeah. I'd say either Riley Smith or I don't know, man. Or maybe Daniel from
Who?
the Philippe Daniel.
Oh, he has no goals, dude.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? They're saying, like, for a guy with no goals, not a lot of points, he is a huge part of the team.
Yeah, he is.
He's like a bull and, shutting
Yeah.
down the top guys.
Yeah.
And he's a free agent too, man. They're thinking that he's going to be a top prize. And can you imagine if they win? He probably upped his value like an extra $2 million.
Yeah, for being just being a shutdown guy.
Yeah, it's insane. We got rid of him for nothing.
But when we did, though, he wasn't really playing. Well,
actually, you know what?
In the Ice Hawks, he was. He played a few games for the Hawks, though.
Did we get DeBrincat for him?
Was
it like a pick that we used, or was that for Shaw?
I think the Shaw trade, was the DeBrincat pick.
Okay,
right.
Thank you,
man.
Great.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Oh God, we lucked out, dude. It could have been a long rebuild if we didn't get a guy like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it took a lot of guts to draft him, though, too, because a lot of people were worried that because he wasn't playing with Connor McDavid anymore, that sorry, let me change that, Connor McGregor anymore, that he was going to be not playing as well, and he is.
He's great. Yeah, he's like dude, when I watch Braden Point, I see DeBrincat too. I see like the same size type of player, both shoot the puck, which is great. And man, I hope he turns out like Point. That'd be good news. He's right there. We just got to get some cups for him.
Yeah, no kidding. So Zadorov not worth $5 million. Period.
No.
End of story.
End of story.
All
Goodbye.
Right.
Let him go.
Let him go. If we're getting him for nothing, then fine. But Dave Hackstall is the coach for the Seattle Kraken, their first coach. To be honest with you, I don't know much about the guy, but he must have really impressed.
Yeah, I know he was a Philly coach, and he didn't have a beard over there. He just looked like a dude. I don't know much about him either. I don't even know what his record was. I know Philly, they haven't been that good in the last couple of years. I think the last season they were decent was against us in 2010.
Right.
Maybe they made the playoffs here and there, but they weren't going anywhere.
Sure. Wow, man.
I thought Rick Tocchet was going to get the job. He had two interviews with those guys, and that was the rumor. And actually, I heard Bruce Boudreau was in the running for it, and I wonder what's going to happen now, because this is kind of going to that coaching that's filled, and you got New York Gerard Gallant, which is a great signing. But now you got Torts, you got Boudreau. Who else is left? Tocchet. I wonder where these guys are going to end up. Maybe assistant coaches somewhere, and then eventually taking over.
I'm really curious about what happens with Torts. To be honest with you, Matt, do you think Torts would be a good defensive coach for the Hawks?
No, because I don't think he wants to take orders from a guy who's got no idea what the hell he's doing.
From a kid?
Well, I mean, I give the guy a lot of credit for jumping in and, hey, I'm coaching the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
that's not easy to do, but I mean,
especially right after they fire Q.
You just fired one of the second winningest coach ever, and it's like, okay, man. But during this season, we were outshot. Probably how many? What would you average? 25 shots a game? Probably outshot.
So,
you have to change it.
In some games, it was really bad, like 35-14, 35-18. Some games.
You have to change your style of play. You have to say, hey, we got to tighten up, boys. This is not working this way. Why? They kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And I mean, I don't understand like that. I just don't get it. I'm never going to get it.
Do you think that that's a tale of either having a porous defense or just having an offense who can't move the puck efficiently?
I think it's both, but I think it's like, hey, the coach gives us a style of play. He wants us to do this, but it's like, hey, we're giving up a lot of shots doing it. Well, I trust my goalie. Well, you don't have a good enough goalie to do that.
Yeah, they asked a lot of Lincoln, dude. They asked a lot of him.
He was good.
He was.
He was very, very good. But I just when something is not working, you have to adjust. That's the difference between these like coaches like Torts.
Right.
Like I know when he coached the World Cup, I think a couple years ago, he's like, are you kidding me? Patrick Kane is being Patrick Kane. I'm staying the hell out of his way. But for other players, they're going to play this my way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think Colleton needs to do. He needs to say, hey, these guys are doing this, but our defense, we got to play like Barry freaking Trotz and tighten up and help our goalie out. So who knows, man? I think that we're going to be stuck with them another couple of years, but unless we go 0-30 this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I wish him all the luck, man. I want him to be a winning coach, especially with
I want to win
Hawks,
too.
You know?
Yeah, I want to have a winning team to talk about and cheer for. But it's like, I mean, you know what's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's changed. You can get Seth Jones. I mean, he'll help a lot, but he's not going to be able to do it himself.
Right.
We need some. They gotta, like, you know, the phrase "buy into the system." Okay, well, give us a system to buy into. We're just giving up too many shots because we can't get possession of the puck.
Right.
So we need some players that, you know, we got obviously Kaner and DeBrincat are great players to build off of, but defense, who do you think is our best defenseman? Keith, and he's what, 39 years old?
Yeah. He's like 38, I think. 37.
Okay, in hockey playoff years, he's 65,
he's 65
with all the games. Yeah, so I just don't see our defensive competing like our group. Would you put them against any other team? I mean, the other teams, like, they got 4 solid defensemen.
Honestly, man, I'm not really hoping for a Jack Eichel signing. I'm more hoping for maybe I'm really hoping for a Seth Jones signing. But to be honest with you, you know, like you've mentioned earlier in the past multiple times, I would be open for a David Savard signing because I think that would honestly, man, I think that would save a ton of problems that we're having because it gives Jones an opportunity to be the star. And put him on a line with Ian
Savard.
Mitchell.
Put him with Savard.
Yeah, you could. Or
they have chemistry.
I was thinking,
you know,
I was thinking of Keith and Savard, so that as a second pairing, where Keith can kind of do his thing again, and Savard can be that defensive presence that he needs, so that
Seabrook.
So Keith can play his game, and not because it's. Duncan Keith is not a defensive defenseman. He's not.
No,
and
2010 he was.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that he is, but he's not. And he needs to be able to play his style of play, and he needs a very good defensive player to do it. And then having a third defensive pairing of Bowden, and to be honest with you, Bowden and Wyatt Kalynuk, and let him get some experience down there. Honestly, man, I like Wyatt Kalynuk. I thought that he showed a lot when he played, and he didn't stand out too bad for his deficiencies.
No, he's going to be fine. And even Stillman, I was a fan of him too.
I really like Riley Stillman too. I mean, to be honest with you, those could be the 7 players that we. That
you forgot about Murphy, Connor Murphy, and
you know, dude, I'm not sold on him, dude. I don't think that he is what everybody says that he is. I don't think that he is that top line defenseman that everybody wants him to be. But I mean, that's just me personally. That's just me personally. It's not that I don't like the guy. I think that I think that he is a good player, but I would really like to see Kalynuk, Stillman play. I thought Stillman played good. Even if we don't get Savard and we have these players, I think that the addition of Jones changes everything on the blue line.
Well, I think if we can land Jones, I think we can move guys. We could spend money on our defense. We could spend money on a former starting backup goalie type of guy, you know, like a
100%,
like a Craig Anderson or somebody like who knows how to play, who can jump in and win a game, and just help Lankinen out. I
Yeah.
mean, I would rather invest in defense right now. I mean, of course, it'd be great to see, like the Hawks land a top scorer. But, I mean, I thought our offense was okay.
Dude, how many games did we win? Like
net.
5-4, 5-3. Do you know what I mean? I think that we would have won more games this season if we had better defense.
Yeah, and when we had, good high scoring games, we gave up too many. And so our goalie wasn't stepping up. Then sometimes we'd lose 2-1 and Lincoln had like 78 saves and he loses.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on, we got to help the guy out. We just got to get it together. I think Kubalik he'll be good. Maybe we'll hear some Taves news soon, like what's going on with that. But I mean, if Taves is done and they say he won't be playing this year, I think Bowman doesn't have a choice. He's got to go for an Eichel.
Yeah.
Or he's got to, otherwise we're going to be Detroit.
Right.
And we're going to have to start from scratch.
Here's another thought. So say we do go for Eichel, right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, man, I think that we have the cap space for Mike Hoffman. What is he making? 5.5?
He's cheap. Yeah, he's cheap. He signed a tryout with the Blues. He didn't even sign with them. He was I think he was looking for more, obviously, but like I told you before, there's some history with him. I guess his wife's kind of nuts.
Right.
And I mean, he's a good
Allegedly.
player though. I think he's got similar numbers to Taylor Hall as well. And those are solid numbers for a guy making $4 or $5 million a year. I would take a chance.
And he plays defense as well.
Yeah. Well, we got Gabriel Landeskog. I would take him. I know you don't like him, but
I don't like the guy, man. But you know what? If he was on the Hawks, I'd cheer for him.
maybe put him with Kaner and DeBrincat.
Or maybe
he's used to playing with skilled guys.
Honestly,
like
man, I'd like to see Vinny and Brendan Hagel on a third line pairing with Mike Hoffman, or if you even want Gabriel Landeskog, and maybe put as a top line pairing, as a top line pairing, maybe put Doc, Kubalik, and maybe Kucherov, man. Because Doc likes to pass the puck. Kucherov can be very creative with moving the puck, and Kubalik needs to shoot. Kucherov can shoot and he can pass, and I think that's what they need on that top line. As a second line pairing, that's where it gets a little tricky, and that's where we would need obviously Taves or Eichel, a face-off guy, a center who can win face-offs, man, and get the puck so we can possess the puck for DeBrincat and Kane. Third line pairing with the Bash Bros with Vinny Hinostroza and Brandon Hagel. And the left wing, put Gabriel Landeskog or Mike Hoffman. A third line as the fourth line pairing, David Kampf can win face-offs for puck possession in the defensive zone. Him and a Ryan Carpenter and another guy at left wing, a possession defensive forward at that left wing spot, man. And I think that we have a pretty good offensive core pairing there. Not to mention, if we were to land Seth Jones, we could do
power play would be up, dramatically up. Yeah.
We could do a Seth Jones, a David Savard pairing. What's David Savard making? 5.56?
Somewhere in that, maybe 4, maybe 6.
Okay.
But if he wins the cup, he's gonna
want money.
Gonna make more. He's gonna make more. Yeah, and I don't think Columbus wanted to get rid of the guy, but they had no choice. He's high demand, and they got a first round pick for him. I think.
So we'll leave him out of the equation. We'll say Seth Jones and Riley Stillman. We'll go the second line with Dunks and either Connor Murphy or Nicholas Bowden, and a third line pairing of Wyatt Kalynuk and Ian Mitchell. To be honest with you, man, getting Kalynuk, Mitchell, and Bowden minutes, I think is big. I think Stillman coming in and being a solid presence, and maybe put Adam Gaudette in there at that fourth line.
They
left
definitely
wing.
have. They definitely have a lot of options.
Yeah, and to be honest,
that's a good thing.
I think that there's a lot. There's a lot good going on there. We just need a few pieces to fill out the puzzle.
Gel it in, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, just as much as Seth Jones is getting a very reliable backup goalie.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, even Antti Ranta is available, and he can
Why
play,
not?
man. Yeah, I mean,
it's not like we haven't won with him before,
Yeah, he could play. I'd like to have him. Maybe somebody. I mean, Craig Anderson. He might even retire. He's older.
He's got
he knows
health
how
problems.
to win. He knows how to win. But Antti Ranta also has health problems. He's always hurt usually, but he's not. There's not a huge workload on him. You know, I think Subban not working out. Delio, he's probably going to be an ice hog. But yeah, I'd like to see the go all in for Seth Jones, sign a backup, and maybe sign a forward if you can get your hands on one.
Yeah,
somebody, a big name guy. That'd be great. I think if you get one of each, we get one forward, one defenseman, and a goalie. That's something the Hawks need.
Yeah,
you get better in every department.
That's why I mentioned Hoffman. I don't think that he would be expensive. Seth Jones would be our expensive D-man.
I'm fine with paying the guy though. Yeah, I really am.
And and a backup goalie just to start off with. We'll leave Eichel out of the question. If we were to sign Eichel, that might even tell Seth Jones, like, hey man, look, we're here trying to win.
We're going for it.
Do you want to get on the train, because we're proven winners here?
Well, I think it would be hard to get both of them, just because usually it's probably going to be a first rounder,
right?
Top prospect, and dude,
Boquist. Did you notice I didn't even mention Boquist?
No, you didn't have to. He's terrible. I would, if I'm Buffalo though, I'm asking for Doc in return.
Yeah,
and you know what, Kirby Doc is a good player, but he will never be Jack Eichel.
He won't. He
won't.
You're right, but you know what? He could be something that we need, and that's
it's
solid,
too much
good
unknown.
Second line center.
Yeah, it's too much of an unknown for me to do it.
Yeah,
you don't want to play with, like, if it was his 5th year, 6th year, it's like, what? It's not worth.
We know what we have.
Yeah, but Boquist, see you later. Take Dylan Strome with you.
Yeah,
here's a bucket of pucks on us.
Sorry
Tell
about
Seth
that.
Jones,
if
we got him a place.
If you really need it, we'll give
Towers.
you some cones too. We got some cones we can
Sears
throw in it
Tower.
too.
Yeah, yeah, some skating cones. We got you a new net.
All right, cool. Well, hey guys, that's all that we got for you tonight. It's been a great podcast. Don't forget, check out the 30 on Broadway Talking Blue Shirts podcast on the FHN net. The Pair at the Point, it's a Pittsburgh Penguins podcast, and the Airport Lounge Winnipeg Jets podcast on the FHN network. And let us know what you think. Let them know what you think. We're getting to the end of the hockey season, and as a podcast runner, we're already thinking about what we're going to be doing for next season and the off season. So maybe there's some questions you want to ask. Maybe you want to just see what they're about. Shoot them a message, get them on Twitter, and start the conversation with them. Obviously we all love hockey, so let's get after it. This is the TomaHawk, and we're out of here.